Having played a couple of hours of Green Hell VR so far, it felt like a good time to give a few of my first impressions of this survival adventure for the Quest 2. The PC version is also coming later in the year, but this separate standalone version follows a similar yet optimised branch of the game. It's not often I go out of my way to request a game key for a Quest title, but this is one I've been looking forward to for a while, and is also similar to one of my favourite VR games from the last year, Song in the Smoke. Green Hell VR is available on Quest 2 now for £22.99 or $29.99. So let's take a look.
Immersed robot.
One of the things that hits you when first jumping into Green Hell VR is the locations, environment and graphics. While not really up to the level of blowing anybody away in terms of their complexity, for a Quest 2 standalone title the variety and density of the environment is definitely impressive. This by all accounts is the first title to be released which leans heavily on the new Quest software technology called Application Spacewarp, which can bring up to 70% improvement in performance. I believe this works in a similar way to asynchronous Spacewarp on PC VR, and raising a hand in front of you and moving it from side to side, you will notice the telltale artifacts of this kind of reprojection software solution. Not that it really makes too much of a difference to the overall experience, and for a standalone title the game looks fantastic. The sharpness and clarity is fine, and the jungle location doesn't feel sparse or half delivered in this version. You will notice some texture and environmental pop-in in some sections, but these are small and forgivable compromises in my opinion. The game does seem to be running very close to the limitations of the Quest 2 hardware capabilities in many ways, and even recording footage while playing the game reduces performance quite significantly in some larger open areas. Most of the footage I'm showing here is from the first hour of the game, as I wanted to play enough without recording to fully test overall performance. Gameplay wise, it's doing many similar things to other survival games such as The Forest or Song in the Smoke, although the story mode does provide a nice diversion to the more repetitive tasks. There are enough story beats to keep things moving at an interesting pace, and you'll rarely find yourself bored of the crafting or survival elements. Playing on the standard difficulty still provides a challenge, and there are many things which can kill you in this game. In fact, another of the highlights of the game overall is the level of variety it provides in flora and fauna as you work your way through the jungle. There are many different types of animals, with frogs, armadillos, parrots, bats, fish, stingrays, rattlesnakes and plenty of other things scattered throughout. There are also human and plant-based enemies, which in some cases provide even more of a challenge. Crafting is satisfying enough, and anyone familiar with survival games will probably know what to expect from this portion of the gameplay. I'm still relatively early on, so I've only started to craft some of the various items, but there seems to be enough variety in this element once again to provide enough entertainment and keep things interesting. The sound is great too. The environmental jungle sounds complemented by bird squawks and waterfalls sells the experience. There is also an overall level of polish in the game which is great to see, and it's plain to see that the developers have created a version of the game fully optimised for the platform it's running on. This is also something which shouldn't be glossed over. The fact that the developers have put in the hard work to create this fully realised Quest 2 version of the game, while also allowing themselves time to focus on the PC VR version, is something we don't see too often. Usually, many titles are developed with Quest in mind, then scaled up with minimum work for the PC platform. This can result in a limited experience on PC and not always playing into the extra power afforded by that platform. But it seems that by the developers Creepy Jar handing over the reins to Incuvo to create this dedicated and refined version of the game, we get the best of both worlds. I have really enjoyed my time in Green Hell VR so far, and I look forward to carrying on my journey through these environments and experiencing the evolving storyline. Deeper, story-rich, mechanic-rich games like this are not necessarily plentiful on the Quest platform, so this is definitely one to check out if you're after those kinds of experiences. But that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.